Caribbean hypocrisy on display. Back in Grenada, bashing Kamla, an editorial by Professor Wall Street. In a region that prides itself on unity, sovereignty, and peace, the recent statements by the Prime Ministers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dominica, and St. Lucia reveal a troubling contradiction. While these leaders publicly support Grenada's sovereign right to consider a U.S. radar installation, they have simultaneously criticized Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister, Kamla Bissessa, for her unapologetic stance in favor of U.S. military cooperation. This selective solidarity exposes a deeper hypocrisy. If sovereignty and national interest are sacred for Grenada, why not for Trinidad and Tobago? If regional peace is paramount, why vilify a leader who seeks to protect her nation from drug trafficking and violence? The Caribbean is not a zone of peace. It is a zone of political maneuvering, selective outrage, and strategic silence. Here are 10 reasons. These leaders are being deceitful and disingenuous. 1. Double standards on sovereignty. They defend Grenada's right to choose, but condemn Kamla Bissessa for exercising the same sovereign judgment in supporting U.S. military presence. 2. Public solidarity, private condemnation. While praising Grenada's rational decision-making, they have publicly criticized Kamla's as reckless foreign policy, even though both decisions involve U.S. cooperation. 3. Pretending the region is united. CARICOM has no formal position on the radar issue or U.S. military presence, yet these leaders speak as if there's a unified regional stance. 4. Myth of the zone of peace. The Caribbean is not a zone of peace. U.S. naval strikes, Venezuelan tensions, and internal political rifts have shattered that illusion. 5. Undermining regional dialogue. Instead of fostering open debate, they shut down dissenting views like Kamla's, weakening the democratic fabric of CARICOM. 6. Contradictory messaging. Gonzalez warns against U.S. intervention while supporting Grenada's right to host U.S. radar, an incoherent stance that confuses rather than clarifies. 7. Political opportunism. Their support for Grenada is timed with St. Vincent's upcoming elections, suggesting political theater rather than principled diplomacy. 8. Ignoring security realities. Kamla's support for U.S. military assets is rooted in combating drug cartels and arms trafficking, real threats that these leaders downplay. 9. Silencing Trinidad's voice. By isolating Kamla's position, they marginalize one of the region's most experienced leaders and ignore Trinidad's strategic importance. 10. Fueling division, not unity. Their selective backing fractures CARICOM's credibility and undermines the very unity they claim to defend. In conclusion, time to call out the hypocrisy. The Caribbean deserves leaders who are consistent, courageous, and honest. Supporting Grenada while vilifying Kamla Bissessa is not diplomacy, it's duplicity. If sovereignty matters, it must matter for all. If peace is the goal, then truth must be its foundation. As Nelson Mandela once said, where you stand depends on where you sit, but leadership demands that you rise. It's time for Caribbean leaders to rise above political games and embrace principled leadership.